Hello everyone. Welcome to Trading with Mello, and today is going to be an educational, and we're going to be talking about the order block theory by SMC or ICT. So, the order block theory, the reason why I call it the order block theory is because we can't literally find a definition for the order block. Just from the name order block, you can propound a whole lot of theories. That's why I would like to call it the order block, because if you hear the name order block, you don't know whether it's a place where orders are being blocked, or you don't know whether it's a block of price that the orders are supposed to respect, or you can come up with any literal meaning for the order block. But we're not here to find definitions for order blocks, are we? The reason why we're learning about the order block is because the theory kind of works. So without using much of your time, let's go into what an order block is. So according to the founders of the theory, there's one thing that comes up in at least every definition, because whether it's Michael speaking about it, whether it's any other person who claims they're the one who came up with the story or the theory, we hear the same thing. So literally, we're going to have two types of order blocks. We're going to have a bullish order block and then a bearish order block. Let me type these so we know we're on the same space. So for the purpose of this illustration, I'm going to use OB to stand for order block. So we're going to have two types of order blocks. We're going to have the bullish order block and then the bearish order block. So an order block, according to their definition, is technically the last. Let me speak about the bullish order block first. So a bullish order block means we're expecting a bullish scenario. We're expecting price to get to at least that order block and then buy. Okay, so let me try and see if I'll be able to draw this right here. So let's just say this is our bullish candle, our bearish candle right here. So we have a bearish candle in this case, and I'll change the color soon so we can all follow. Let me change this to red and this to green, like the way trading view traditionally does that. Okay. So bullish order block is technically going to be the last down close candle, which is this particular one, the last bearish candle before this bullish move. So this is what we will mark as our bullish order block. So it's technically going to be the same thing for the flip side of things. So this is going to be our bullish order block. And for the bearish, let me change this color once again. Okay. So this entire area will be what we call our bullish order block. Okay. Let me just add some wicks to the candle to make it more realistic. So this entire candle, including the wicks, okay, would be our bullish order block. So now, in the case of a bearish OB, we're going to have the last up close candle, which will be a bullish candle right here. Before the sell. And in this case, this will be our bearish order block. So the whole reason why people want to learn this whole order block theory is because when we're trading, we expect price to get to let's say if it's a bullish order block, and then shoot up. And also we're expecting if it's a bearish order block, price is supposed to get to that bearish order block and then shoot down. So in today's video, we're going to be talking more about the order block instead of focusing on which one is a good one, which one is a bad one. I am trying to let you understand the concept of an order block. So speaking about the concept of an order block, the first thing we have to understand is, according to the definitions, okay, it's the last down close candle before an upward move, or the last up close candle before a downward move. So speaking of this, are these the only types of order blocks we can find in the market? I personally think no. Because for a market where we're going to have, let's say, sometimes it's not every day that you're going to have a down close candle or a down close body like this. There are those candles which are like also up close before another push goes to the top. So you can't really judge the definition of an order block always by this, okay? But then the sense is right in the theory that they are trying to propound. The last downward move before an upward move, or the last upward move before a downward move, is going to be order block. So for the purposes of this illustration, I'm going to use the Euro USD chart so I can show you the types of order blocks, okay? So the first type of an order block is going to be the traditional order block, as I like to call it. So the traditional order block is what I just illustrated on the screen. So I'll show you a couple of examples. Let me just start from the top here. So like I said, it's going to be the last upward candle before a downward push, or the last down close candle before an upward push. By an up close candle, I mean a candle which opened and then opened at the bottom and then closed relatively at the top. By a down close candle, I mean a candle like this which opened somewhere here and closed relatively downwards. So let's talk about the order blocks right here. So this is going to be the first bearish order block we will see. Why am I saying that? Is because this was an up close candle followed by this entire move downside. So this was going to be an order block, and once price came here, price started pushing down. I am not saying that price is going to push down at every single order block it gets to. The theory is quite deeper than surface. So today I'm literally explaining what an order block looks like, okay? So this is one that we can see. Another order block that we can see is the last upward candle before a downward push. So this was the push down, so this was going to be our last upward candle, this one. For the purposes of this video, I hope we're all following. And also, if we're going to say, let's say the last upward candle before the downward push in this sense is going to be this particular one. So on the 4-hour time frame, in most of the annotations I'm doing, all of the annotations I'm currently doing are on the 4-hour. So we can see these bearish order blocks. Okay, what about the flip side of things? Let's go to find bullish order blocks. Okay, so I'm going to show you this in the sense that not every order block is going to react to price, but for now, just train your eyes to see the order blocks, okay? We're going to talk later about which one is going to be a more feasible order block for you to use, which of them will be more favorable and stuff like that. But for now, identifying the order blocks is the purpose of this video. So speaking of bullish order blocks, we said what? The last downward candle before the push to the upside. So this was a downward candle and this was a push to the upside. So this is going to be our order block. Do we see more order blocks? We see one here again. This last downward close candle, this one, before the push upside. So we see how price almost semi-respected this particular order block and then pushed to the upside. And it's not always going to respect order blocks. Just for the sake of this example, we find a whole lot of order blocks being respected. We saw how this particular one was almost respected, then price decided to push all the way underneath it here. So it's not every order block that as a price action trader you should be looking at saying that, okay, price hit an order block, I want to buy or sell. Nah, it's not as simple as that. But for now, let's train ourselves to see the order blocks. So these are the traditional order blocks. This is a type 1 of the order block. So let's go back to the definition of an order block. So the definition of an order block, we said, is the last upward close candle before you push down the downside. Okay, so let's see, what are we talking about? We said if market decides to push, and clear these drawings, I'll just make them in a different highlight. Okay, if market decides to push, let's say, let me use the line to give you guys this theoretical example. So for all of us that use the line chart, let's say you've not even used the line chart before, but let me try to make this annotation of price. So we have price going down, let's say something like this, and we said a bullish order block is going to be the last upward push, the last downward push, sorry, before the push to the upside. Okay, so if this is the line chart, we're going to have something of this sort, yes, and let's say price took off to the upside. So we're talking about the last push down. Okay, just imagine yourself seeing price this way. Okay, not on the line chart, but just imagine me making an annotation of price movement this way. Okay, so we have this point. It's going to be the last downward push before price moves to the upside. But the way the candlestick chart is structured, this might only exist on one time frame if you're looking at the line chart. On another time frame where the candle has not closed yet, this could look like a wick, because in the sense that, let's say we have a down close candle which opened right here, and in lifetime this market is trying to close here, but then a push quickly happened. Let me change this color so I can make my illustration peaceful. So we have, let's say, this candle opening right here, then making this high and pushing all the way to the downside. So after pushing, let's say, down here, in the last closing hours or closing minutes of the candle, it doesn't even necessarily have to be the closing minute, price decides to push all the way up and then closes. So if price made this low, it means that the last downward push, okay, before price actually moved up, let's say price moved up all the way here, is going to be this particular wick down here. Are we trying to make some sense out of whatever I'm trying to illustrate? So the last downward push, the true last downward push on maybe a lower time frame, is going to be this little rush to the downside before price decides to push up. So this on a lower time frame would actually be a candle, maybe a full body close candle, which would be your order block. So if, in the sense that you are marking this entire range as your order block, if you're on a very high time frame, this could be a very big price range for you in case you decide to place, let's say, your buy order right here. That's if everything is in check. You decide to place your buy order right here, and this is like, let's say, 100 pip range. You're quite in trouble. Why don't you narrow things down, like refining the order block? Of course, if you go down to the lower time frames, this is what it's going to look like. So I'm trying to draw your attention to the fact that the last push down in this sense is the wick, okay, and it's going to be literally the same thing for the flip side of things. So on the higher time frames, on the flip side of things, let's say you are looking for a bearish order block, in the sense that we have this bullish candle, green again, and then we have this one, which is red. So let's say this candle opened right here, and then in the course of price, this candle pushed all the way up here. Then we decided to reject very quickly. So what was the last upward move? This was the last upward move before this push to the downside to close here. So the last upward push in this sense would be this. So that would be our area to consider as a potential order block. So it's not always the candle. So in this little illustration, I've shown you guys at least 2 forms of the order block. I don't want the video to be so long. I would go ahead to show you a couple of more forms, but I think I'll do that on another video. So for now, let me give you chart examples of the second type of order block, the one I just showed. So let's just say right here, we're in this same price. I won't go far. Let's just use this same price movement. So we have this, where on a normal day, we will say this was our last upward close candle before the move downside. This one. But there was no significant move to the downside. This just closed somewhere here. So let's see what happened right after. We had price push downward here and then push all the way up. Then we had this rejection to the downside. So this push to the upside is going to be the last push up before the move down, which was here. So what could be our potential order block? This one. So we see as price got to this particular range, we rejected all the way to the downside. So we have technically narrowed stuff down. Instead of picking this entire candle, as our order block. So let me check how many. This is literally like a 60 pip range of price you get. So why would you put yourself in this position of literally 63 pips instead of managing this little range of 22 pips, where you can actually decide that, okay, if price comes here, I might place a sell order. Okay, so let's find another example. In this sense, also price pushed all the way up here, then rejected. So the last push was going to be this one right here. So this was the last push up before the move down. Okay, then in this same price range, what did we see? Price came all the way down here. Where do we think the last push up was? So the last push up, not this candle, as we're all thinking, the last push up was actually here. We saw 1, 2, and then this third candle pushed all the way to the upside before rejecting, then forming the fourth one. So this was the last push up, this one. So if we're trying to mark up an order block, this would be our last push up before the downward movement. Are things making a bit of sense? Okay, so let me quickly show some examples on the flip side of things, and then we'll be done with this particular chart. So like I was saying, we're looking for that last downward close week. That last week. It doesn't have to be, not me speaking about closes with weeks. So let's just talk about that last week, okay? So here we have this last push to the downside before price decided to push up. It's going to be a bullish order block. Are we okay? And then let me look for another one. Okay, this was the last run downwards before this push up. So not this entire candle, but just talking about the last run, because if you scale down on the lower time frames, that is what you're going to see. So this could be another version of the order block. So for now, in this video, I have been able to show at least 2 forms of the way I interpret the order block theory. So I would want you guys to go over your charts, see if you see these kind of things. If you have any comments, you can put them in the comment section. If you disagree, agree to anything, if you have any questions to ask, you can put them inside the comment section. I'd be really willing to see it. And in subsequent videos, I'll talk about more examples of the order blocks. I'm going to leave a link to my Telegram channel in the bio. And I really urge you to practice, because that's all trading is about. And practice using what I would think is the right information. Wherever it is you get your information from, just be on the charts, prove that kind of information right, and then make sure that you are back testing with the right information. So thank you very much for staying to the end of this video. I'll see you in the subsequent ones. If you like what you're seeing, just do all the good things. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next. Thanks a lot.